What's in Your Water by Jordan Scara. What would you do if you discovered that your community's drinking water contained traces of someone else's birth control medicine or heart medicine, or even antibiotics? I found this to be the case here in Wisconsin where I live, and I did something about it. Before I tell you my story, here are some facts I discovered during my research. The U.S. Geological Survey tested 139 streams across the U.S. and found and documented levels of prescription drugs and hormones in that water. According to an Associated Press investigation, a concoction of drugs, including antibiotics, anticonvulsants, acne medications, mood stabilizers, and sex hormones, have been found in the drinking water supplies of at least 41 million Americans. This investigation reviewed hundreds of scientific reports, analyzed federal drinking water databases, visited environmental study sites and treatment plants, and interviewed more than 230 officials, academics, and scientists. Even though our planet is 70% water, only an astonishing 1.5% is fresh water, used for human and animal consumption. This water is now being contaminated by prescription and over-the-counter drugs whenever anyone disposes of medication in a toilet, down a sink, or in the trash. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has clearly stated that sewage treatment systems are not specifically engineered to remove pharmaceuticals. The federal government doesn't require any testing and hasn't set safety limits for drugs in water. Even users of bottled water and home filtration systems are exposed. Some bottlers simply repackage tap water and do not typically treat or test for pharmaceuticals. The same goes for the makers of home filtration systems. Contamination is not confined to the United States. More than 100 different drugs have been detected in waterways throughout the world. Fish and prawns in China exposed to untreated wastewater had shortened lifespans, and in Norway, Atlantic salmon exposed to estrogen in the North Sea had severe reproductive problems. Because of all this, recent studies have found alarming effects for both humans and wildlife when it comes to wastewater not being treated for medications. For humans, small amounts of medication exposure have caused human breast cancer cells to grow faster, kidney cells to grow too slowly, and blood cells to show sign of inflammation. An example of the effects on wildlife has occurred in fish. Male fish are being feminized, and female fish have developed male genitalia organs. Even though scientists are researching the extent of contamination, our government is hurting us by not proactively addressing the problem. I decided to meet this challenge head-on by spreading awareness and providing communities with a safe way to dispose of their toxic drugs. I founded the Wisconsin Prescription Pill and Drug Disposal, WIP2D2, program. WIP2D2 is a teen-organized drug collection program dedicated to keeping the water systems of the world safe from the irreversible damage caused by the improper disposal of medication. Before I started WIP2D2, consumers were being told by the pharmacies, doctors, and the U.S. government to dispose of their medications by pouring them down the drain, flushing them in the toilet, or throwing them out in the trash. All of these methods are seriously detrimental to our environment. My desired outcome for WIP2D2 is twofold. One, to educate the world that improper disposal of drugs contaminates our groundwater, which results in deformities in amphibians and unknown genetic problems to humans. And two, to provide communities with a safe means to dispose of their drugs, since our state and federal governments were not even acknowledging that this danger existed, let alone trying to address it, providing us with secure disposal options. The impact on our local area was significant. But then I discovered an even more urgent reason to create WIP2D2. Our family medicine cabinets are now the new drug dealers. The prescription drugs and over-the-counter medicines parents and adults leave unsecured in medicine cabinets are fueling the newest drug problem among American teens: prescription and over-the-counter drug abuse. Studies have found that more people, mostly teens, abuse prescription drugs than cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamines combined. Recognizing this important nationwide issue made me more driven to find a way to properly dispose of all medication and prescription drugs. When launching WIP2D2, I contacted the Drug Enforcement Agency, the Department of Natural Resources, the EPA, and the Department of Justice. None of these governmental agencies was willing to tackle this insidious problem or help me with my project. So I started in my hometown and laid the groundwork for creating a drug collection program. This was a monumental task, considering it is illegal to collect or accept prescription drugs from anyone. Plus, the cost to dispose of these drugs properly is too expensive. Once I worked out the details of my program, I contacted my local police chief and made a presentation to our city council. When I was done, they gave me a standing ovation and even provided me with funds to start my program. At that point, I made presentations to the local hospital pharmacists, civic organizations, business leaders, and schools to recruit volunteers and spread awareness. I then launched a marketing campaign by creating my own brochures and flyers and distributing them around town. I made posters, had banners designed, and created funny and engaging designs for t-shirts. But the most unique and interesting way I promoted WIP2D2 was by creating a mascot named Phil the Pill Bottle. Nevertheless, needless to say, Phil was an instant hit. WIP2D2 was growing quickly and I needed more money. I looked at many options, but decided a grant would be best because it was free money. WIP2D2 would not have to pay it back. I'm proud to say that I became the first teen organization to have written and been awarded a Wisconsin State drug grant. The financial help was just what WIP2D2 needed to carry on its important mission. So far, we have held multiple drug collection events, started programs in many Wisconsin communities, hosted both a free needle/sharps disposal program and a free mercury thermometer swap, and have helped keep more than 900,000 pounds of drugs out of the groundwater. We have purchased several drug drop-off boxes for communities, enlisting high school student volunteers to paint and decorate these containers. WIP2D2 has also helped cities purchase incinerators, thus saving taxpayer dollars on medication disposal costs. Mentored teens and adults across the country with their programs, and has become a national model for teen-created drug collection programs. WIP2D2 has even joined forces with a dynamic science teacher, mentor from Illinois, who already had his own drug collection program. As of this writing, WIP2D2 has spread across the country and can be found in more than 22 states. What started out as a curiosity on my part has blossomed into the largest teen-run, self-sustaining drug collection program in the world. So I ask you again, what's in your water?